down below, boys. The boss of Ragnarok. Searcher, let's make him pay. Yo, level 48. We got 71 fire res. Should be Gucci. It's time. It's time. Here we go, boys. How did you get here? I walked. Yeah, he did. Phase 1 dead. Here, we'll totem for... We'll Dark Covenant for this one. Dodge the meatballs. Dodge more meatballs. Okay, we'll Dark Covenant for this, or we'll Goat Totem for this one. Easy. Last one, boys. Easy. That's one dead Searcher. Let's check out our shit loot. Told you. Shit loot. Hello, gamers. We just defeated Surtur on our Oracle, level 48. Oracle is Spirit and Storm. We'll go over our gear real quick. We got super lucky in middle of Act 3. We got the Corinne Staff. This is reduction to enemy health chance. It's vitality based. It gives armor. It gives percent Fizz res, Pierce res, Ellie res, Poison res. Huge. We got really lucky on that one. And then before that, we were using a Ravenous Bone Staff of Thunder. We dropped this in Act 2. This is a lightning-based staff. It increases percent lightning damage, electrical burn damage. It does some life leech. That's the prefix Ravenous. And then the final component of Thunder is 6 flat lightning damage. Huge there. We put on Zeus's Thunderbolt. Zeus has 18% lightning damage, 18% electrical burn damage, some flat lightning damage, and we got really lucky with the 15% completion bonus to lightning damage. Big. So those are our 2 weapons. For our regular gear setup, this is the full cursed mode. So you can see up here we got all 8 curses on, but I'm still playing with the Holy Trinity. You guys know the Holy Trinity: Hallowed Hat, Stonebinder's Cuffs, and a necklace with golden scarab. Those all provide plus to skills. So the first thing you get is Stonebinder's Cuffs in Act 1. This drops from Geomancers and Profaners. They're Gorgons. You can also get them from the Gorgon Queens. Don't farm them there. But the plus to skills is what you want. It also rolls with Ellie Res always. And then on this, we got Giga Lucky, prefix of light, which is minus requirements, and suffix of survival, which is like some flat health. In curse mode, you want Vit Res, so I forced Amun-Ra's Glory into the Vit Res completion bonus. Amun-Ra's Glory is great for health as well. 60 health, 10% health, 60 energy, 10% energy. Big. Okay, so next item you would get would be probably the Hallowed Hat. Giga Lucky here, Hallowed prefix is Vit Res and plus to skills. This rolled Rumination. Rumination is tier 2 recharge. You can see minus 13 recharge here. Also, we put on even more Vit Res, right? 15% Vit Res. Again, from the Amun-Ra's Glory. Another chunk of health, another chunk of energy. Big. And then final piece, like I said, the Prismatic Amulet. You can get these very early in the game, and indeed we did. We got ours in Delphi from a merchant. The Golden Scarab Force completion bonus is a level 30 charm. The beetle spawns many places outdoors in Act 2, but you can't use it until you're level 30, but that's your third source of plus to skills. So that's the Holy Trinity. Our main chess piece for a while is Honor Guards of Spirit. Honor Guards is important for like a pinch of Pierce res, and then also the stun res. In cursed mode, you start at minus 50 secondary resists as well. So just any source of stun res is really big. And then you can see again, we got Amun-Ra's Glory here. The Vit Res and the health is just too good to pass up. Our boots got super lucky. We had multiple pairs of these boots. Insulated of Pegasus, we had a early leveling piece with no prefix. But of Pegasus, I'll tell you what that is first. This is ideal for basically any mage type. It's Res, elemental damage, and movement speed. That's what of Pegasus is. And then the prefix insulated can be many. It could be 3 resistances. In this case, it's fire res, which for Surtur is ideal because he's a fire boss. So we got really lucky. This is an Act 3 piece. I always put Hermes Sandal on there for move speed and the guaranteed poison res. You can still see, even with like a little bit of res, we're at minus 50 poison res. So got to be a little careful there. And then finally, we have some rings. Insulated of Vitality, Fire prefix for Surtur, and then Vitality is tier 3 health. So big chunk of health. Demon's Blood for the Vit and stun res. Other ring is Forsaken Jewel. This is percent vitality damage. Now remember, we're vitality based on the Corinne. This is a vitality scalar. The other important component to Forsaken, and then there's also Accursed and Unholy, those are the 3 tiers of this type of ring, is the energy drain. 25% of the monster's energy gets drained, and that is not mitigated by energy leech resistance. So you can straight up just remove their energy, and then additionally, when you drain their energy, 40% of that gets dealt as damage. So it's a good opener source of damage. And then when you strip away their energy, specifically bosses, there's a list of skills that most of the time they require energy to cast them. And if they don't have energy, they don't cast them. So then you can also see we have a Demon's Blood here. We got lucky with the stun completion bonus on the Demon's Blood. It's not necessary. We're definitely overcapped on stun res, but that's okay. I'm not going to complain about it too much. And then finally, we have our artifact slot, which is the golden belt. We just crafted this at the end of this chapter. This gives armor, some pierce res and fire res. I have all my fire stuff on just because we're fighting Surtur. It also gives 20% strength and less damage from giants. We got lucky with the armor protection completion bonus. That's just another chunk of armor, so that's kind of nice. So that's our main gear setup. We do have some swaps. We started early on in the game with Shroud of Eternal Light. If you're using Turning Attack, which we'll go over here in just a minute, Shroud of Eternal Light is just amazing because it has guaranteed attack speed. Shroud of Eternal Light is just good for like so many builds. It's unbelievable. So if you can get it, just try to build it. 10 damage, 21 poison damage, some energy leech, flat piercing damage, vitality resist, stun res, 60 health, attack speed. And if you're lucky like me, you get the attack speed completion bonus. Huge. Like that's a massive, massive artifact, especially early on. Let's go over our skills real quick. The most important thing that we used in Storm Mastery is, you guys know if you've played it, level with Squall. Just max it out. Eventually max out Obscure Visibility. If you're not playing Cursed, you don't need to max out Obscure Visibility ASAP. You just don't really need to, because the Obscure Visibility, the biggest thing for Cursed, what it does is it does monsters in Squall do reduced damage. You will eventually want it always because the RR is huge. So reduced resistances is massive. So level with Squall, we maxed that out. Put on 1 point of Storm Nimbus, climb the bar, and then scale up your static charge. That'll make Squall do a ton of damage. Squall is lightning based, and static charge scales your lightning damage. We also continue to climb for Eye of the Storms. Most of the time when I play Storm Mastery, Eye of Storm at the end of normal is maxed. We didn't go that route. We did a lot more in Spirit first. There's no particularly bad way to play. But if you need more damage for Squall or other abilities, maxing Eye of Storm is good because it gives a buff of, I think it's 130% elemental damage at +4, so it's massive. It's very massive. We do have 1 point in Spellbreaker, removing Thorns of Typhon as an example. There's a debuff from the Black Elves in Ragnarok. All kinds of stuff you can remove from yourself. You could take Spell Shock as well. This is a 3-second skill disruption on mobs. I didn't go that route. We went the route of Freezing Blast. You could and should do both. Freezing Blast is also just solid CC, so we 1-pointed that. We'll put more points into it later. We just don't need it right now. We also only put 1 point in Heart of Frost. We're not scaling our cold damage. If you guys do Ice Shards, you want to scale the Heart of Frost cold damage here. That'll benefit your Ice Shards obviously more than Static Charge, because Static Charge is just lightning. So that's our Storm Mastery, and then Spirit Mastery looks very similar as well. We're only focusing on a few skills. As always, when you play Spirit Mastery, you want to max out Death Chill base, Ravages of Time, and Necrosis. All three are important. The most important with Cursed early on is Ravages of Time. Ravages provides reduced damage to mobs that you're debuffing, and they also lose armor. The most important thing is the reduced damage, so you don't want to neglect that. If you neglect Necrosis in normal with curses, that's okay. This doesn't need to be maxed. Only Ravages of Time. And then the reason Death Chill base needs to be maxed is because as you put more points into it, the radius grows. So the health reduction from Death Chill is something that you should bring up. 3 to 13 reduction to enemy health. Necrosis reduces vitality damage resistance. This health reduction is mitigated by vitality. So the more points you put in Necrosis, the more the base damage will actually reduce mobs. So the whole thing should just be maxed. But you can see, so we have that max at the end, but it's really important to be able to deal some damage with turning an attack or life drain with Cascade. I only 1-pointed life drain with Cascade, and we did that late because we have a really good staff, and turning an attack turns your staff into 3 projectiles. And increases the projectile speed. So this is your bread and butter, and you're basically just auto attacking. We do have 1 point in Dark Covenant and 1 point in Unearthly Power. So on Dark Covenant, just to quickly go over this, provides 10% speed. It regenerates your energy at the cost of health reduction, but the health is basically negligible. We will want to max this because the duration increases. So the longer you're inside of this Dark Covenant, the longer you get this Unearthly Power benefit. And Unearthly Power scales physical, bleed, elemental, and vitality damages by percents. You can see that on screen here. And then also the Circle of Power it's kind of like Warfare's banner. You put down the goat, this Circle of Power. He looks like a goat skeleton. And while you're standing inside of it, you increase your bleed damage by 100%, vitality damage, and life leech by 100%. You get more casting speed. While you're inside of it, you get reduced recharge, and you also get reduced energy cost. That's huge. We are going to want to max this. Because the duration increase, sorry, not the duration. It always lasts for 12 seconds, but the minus recharge and the minus energy cost increases, and so does the casting speed. So this thing is really, really nice. And then you can see here we got Spirit Ward 1 and 1 with our plus the skills, 44% damage to undead, flat 21 damage to undead, and then the base gives flat 9 to undead and less damage from undead. So this is a really nice one. As you go along, you don't need to max it ASAP, but we will by legendary. We do have 1 point in Visions of Death. This is a 3-meter radius, and when you put it on mobs, they do reduce damage for a period of time, and they also have a chance to be fumbled and impaired. Smaller mobs can be feared as well, but basically you do this on a boss, right? Because they can't be feared, and they will do reduced damage, and then you can put your squall down and they'll do even less damage. So that's one of the things you want to do. You don't need to max it out, but it does scale the reduced damage as you go. So if you need another source of that, that's really nice. And then finally, we climb the bar as high as we can so we can get Death Ward. The more HP you have, the more chance for this to actually work correctly, because basically when you go below 15% HP but don't die, this will activate and you'll take less damage and you'll get healed. So as long as at 15%, that's a reasonable amount of HP, then this will go off. It's really effective for poison or like damage over time effects that are on your character. if they get you below a certain threshold, this will proc and you'll start to absorb damage. So you don't want to neglect this. You do eventually want to put some more points into it, but 1 point alone is fine. But yeah, that's basically our build and our skills and our gear. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're doing the full curse. We'll continue this build. Yeah, that's the Oracle. Thanks, guys. Bye. That's going to be cut.